Okay, so in this video, I'll be going through a quick probate horror story and the lessons learned from this story, right? So and I'm gonna make this really quick so we can get to the lessons and how it benefits you and your recently inherited property, right? So my name is Khalid with Probate Property Playbook. What I do is help families through the non-legal task of inheriting a home in the probate process, and I also help families get the most money for their property when they do put it on the market. Now, I worked with a lady, right, and she inherited a home from her sister, right. Now this home from the start had many problems, right. So not only did she inherited a home from her sister, which was in another city that she didn't live in. But she also had inherited a home from her mother, who also passed around the same time in the city where she did live, right? So off rip, she's dealing with two probates in a similar time frame, which is a nightmare in itself, for many reasons. Now, the property that she owned in the city that she didn't live in, not only was it dilapidated, like it needed a lot of repairs, and not only did it have cars that had they couldn't find the titles for the cars on the property, but they couldn't gain access to the property because the property was inhabited by somebody who was her sister's significant other. And do in New Jersey we have very, I don't want to say lax, but we have laws that are in favor of the tenants, even if they aren't essentially tenants. So they had this guy who was living in this property who was just, living through the loophole of you can't kick me out until we go through this court procedure, which at the time of her um, contacting me had been going on for 2 years. So just for a quick recap, we have a property that's been inherited, a property, and you can't get into the property that has been inherited, and there's a troubled tenant in the property. And they went to the door one day to try to talk to him, and they kind of like peeked in and seen in the house, and that house was an absolute mess, right? And I might put some videos of like what the house looked like in this actual video. But yeah, the house was a complete mess. There was all types of like water, like leaking, like water damage. It turned into like a hoarder house. There was a lot of things that needed to be done in regards to like damage, repairs, roof, just you name it. This property had these problems, right? Now, what I did was come in and I helped the buyer come in, and we ended up doing cash for keys, which is essentially paying the tenant to leave. As crazy as that may sound to people, we got in there. We got a lot of the stuff out. I was able to gain access to the property and have my client come in and have access to the property for the first time in over 2 years, and then eventually get the property sold. And we kind of got through that. I'm still helping her with the second probate that she's in charge of. Now, lessons to learn about this probate property and this horror story, which I may give a more in-depth uh, story. But lessons to learn, right? It is very important to not only have a property to ask to have uh, to have to make sure that you have things in order that will make heritage problem possible. Two, one thing I think is very important is to contact professional what's happening and this specific area. Not estimates. I was able to come up with a solution where a lot of people were in the transition to honest that they're services. One thing that my client that I'm talking about in this book, including that she dealt with attorney, was competent in law, but was it as she said, quote, that's important because I would urge people watching this video, on, uh, contact, attorney, also, was, I'm not, bonds, this is, well, especially, again, tech, license, practice, tech law, whatever. But working with somebody who knows about patients up to date on probate process and how to that helps. But lay out the knowledge. I don't want to say this wasn't vision or so. You guys want to talk about something about generally specifically essence, snap, call, or quote, call, something like that. Oh, and that's why.